Were you filming that? All right, welcome back to Just Enough Garage. We're getting quite a few views. I appreciate that. We're getting a lot of people interested in what we're doing. Just to back up, if you're kind of new to the channel or you haven't watched the other previous videos, Just Enough Garage, we named it. It's just enough time, just enough energy, just enough skill. I work a full-time job. I'm out here in the evenings trying to do this stuff. My daughter, she's filming it. And we're doing it just because we think people are going to like our vehicles that we've got. Anyways, this week, 64 Chevy Suburban. If you haven't seen that video, it was our first video out. These are a super cool truck. It's a two-door Suburban. It's not, when you think Suburban, we don't realize that the Suburban started in 1949. And this, I don't know what generation this is, but it's like a C10 pickup, which is very popular. Anyways, I got a 283 in it. I got a S10 5-speed. We're now to the exhaust, as you can see. I did some shopping around. You guys may be in the same position as me. You need to do an exhaust. You have some skill. You have some time. Could you take it somewhere? Sure. There's lots of good muffler shops that would do a great job. I bought some of the things from the parts store. Some of the stuff I've had used from when I pulled the engine out of what it was in before. And what we're going to do is put the two of these together and see if we can make ourselves kind of a simple dual exhaust system. And I want to tip out in front of the back wheel, so I didn't need going over the axle and all that. Anyways, it's going to be a little bit cheaper than any other way, I think, to do it, which money is important, but it's not, So if it starts going south, we'll figure something out. But anyways, what I ended up buying was these glass pack mufflers. They're 25 inches, I think. They're about the shortest that they sold. A hanger. I wanted to show these earlier when the engine was out in the exhaust manifold. I put these new studs in and brass nuts so we have good mounting. I've got new donut gaskets. These parts here are going to be reused because of the bends. You can see Mary on my bender, and this is my bender over here. I tried doing it. I know you can fill it with sand, and I know there's a way to do it. If I just recycle this, it kind of solves my problem for now. When I go to do the tip out, I'll probably have to fill it with sand, but I was only able to get this 10-foot length of 2-inch exhaust tubing. Surprise, the parts stores, I'm not going to complain, but when they have a van, they can't move things from their main building to the little sub buildings where I'm in a little town, right? Anyways, I had to go get that, and frankly, I was not impressed. What was the point of getting it if I had to go get it? Anyways, they have a little delivery van, and 10 feet it doesn't fit. So anyways, this is just part of the issues of doing this at home. You have to be prepared to go through that. You got to be patient. We're going to get started, and we're going to rock and roll and see what we can get done. Down here, see, so this is the driver's side. I was able to reuse part of this. It's close there. It should be all right. And I've got it turned out underneath. And you can see I've positioned this muffler temporarily on these stands. And the reason that I'm putting it outside the frame is it's simpler. But then also, if I ever decide to do an airbag system, I got the exhaust higher than the frame, so it shouldn't be a problem. And there's an open spot right down the back here, right out to just in front of the back wheel. I haven't built any of these pipes yet, so my next thing is to be able to connect from here over to there. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this real quick. If you guys are familiar with those, originally this was a butterfly system that would open and close depending on how the engine heat. This would open, and it was supposed to help the engine warm up a little bit. Obviously this one's antique. It no longer turns, which is nice, and it's in the open position. But I need to put it back into the system for the stud
placement and spacer, so that's for the passenger side. But if you ever come across these where you have an engine that's running weird or overheating, or you feel like you're not getting good exhaust flow, take a look at those. Sometimes they'll be in a closed position and you can just pry it open. In the past, sometimes I've even cut that weight off and I've spot welded that to the opening position, but this one, it's stuck, so I'm going to leave it that way.
So we have sand around here from the wall from when they built the shop, what, 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
So we got a lot of sand, and this is our sand we're using to fill it.
I'm gonna give this pipe full of sand a try. If it don't work, don't do it.
And our cap is a rag that we've clamped on. And I think Rolly's jealous that we're digging without him.
You'll have the sand back one more time. Yeah, I just put a hose clamp on a shop rag. We'll see if it works. Okay, so we got it full of sand. We got it in the bender. We made a mark where we think we want to bend it. We don't know. Sometimes I heat the pipes. I'm probably going to destroy this because it's probably going to crush before it'll want to bend, but we'll see what happens. We're all learning together. Not enough. Well, let's see what happens. Hopefully it didn't flatten the back out. Ah, see, it's junk. Oh, it's got... I'm a totem, look at me. I destroy pipes.
It looks happy. Good job, you didn't hit your walls.
I'm going to get out the torch and we're going to heat it. None of this stuff is working. It's kinked. It's flattened it out. It's just the wrong bender for the wrong job. So we're just about to call it for the night. We're about done. My attitude was going south. We didn't have the sand packed enough. Believe it or not, we watch YouTube too, and there's a guy that says you got to pack it really tight, and then he welded some ends on. We'll try that later. We're almost feeling like at this point we can kind of make our own bender, and they're not really big bends. But walk with me over here. Oh, forgot to mention, Marianne, I don't know if you could read that. What was it? What did you write on there some years ago?
Tube kinker, but I did it with a C, so we'd say tube kincer. Toobkincer. That's probably like 11, 10.
Yeah, so we've been down this path before. When it says it's a 12-ton hydraulic pipe bender, yeah, it's a pipe bender.
It's a pipe kinker. Yeah. Well, show them the kink in the pipe in your hand.
Yeah, that's just a little one.
Yeah, a little kink. But
all right, come over here. Let me show you my plan. And then we'll take a walk around the other side. So as I mentioned earlier, I want the muffler up high. So in case I ever do airbags, I chop the springs too low. You never can tell what's going to happen. Anyways, some of you might cringe because this is the good side. But I'm going to have this come up inside, come out, and somewhere right about, let me draw on the paint. Somewhere right around here, I'm hoping to get that to come out. So then it would be kind of like that poking out. And I have that in line with the body up just a little ways because there's nothing really behind there. Let me come around to this side. Watch your head there. So as I was showing you earlier, there you can see him there. It's still on the stands. I have to go with the tubing expander. I don't own one. I was going to have to get one. Anyways, that's ready to go on there. It's just sitting there. It didn't turn out too bad. Most of the damage is on the inside where you're not going to see it. And I think I'm going to have to get some more 2-inch tubing. Hopefully the van can haul it for me so that it can get delivered to my little town. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave comments on the past projects, past videos, so that I can go forward and see what people are interested in. Otherwise, we're going to stick on this, like I said, for a couple more episodes. I'd like to get this thing running and going before end of summer. Anyways, thanks for watching. Okay, so we're going to give this piece of tubing a shot. We'll did some of our own YouTube searches, and Mariana discovered a guy that says pack it with sand, not just fill it, but pack it, and then weld the caps on. So we're going to try that with this one now. We're going to go back to that. If it doesn't work, I've kind of built another little bender over here. Maybe I'll give it a shot. But while we were off camera, I actually got one part of it kind of finished. So Mary, come give me a hand with this. That's just as terrible. I don't know if you can tell, it just kinks right here. It's just as terrible. So we'll try heating it now and putting it in the other bender I got. So let's set up for that. We let it cool for a little while, still kind of warm. It's just sand in it, but it kinked it no matter what. So, I mean, it'll probably work for what I'm doing. It's, you know, whatever. I guess we'll have to get better at bending tubes or take it somewhere or buy a kit. So I guess if you're doing this at home, this isn't a way to save any money. You know, I tried it. Anyways, it'll get me through what I'm doing, but someday down the road, I'll probably have to take it somewhere and let somebody do it professionally. Anyways, I'm going to cut that sucker off, and then we'll fit up the muffler for it. Okay, so I don't know if you could see that bump. This is the side that's going to be exposed to the world. I might come back with a hammer and try to shape that a little bit, but I'm not impressed. Now, I know that when you buy a factory exhaust pipe, you'll sometimes see these little dents in there. And I know that's what's happening is as you make a bend, that material has to go somewhere. So the dents are it's kind of a natural thing that's going to happen when it's bent. If you look at a factory one, you'll see them kind of, I think they use a mold more than that. But I was disappointed. I really, this is the illusion I live under. I really thought I could make a nice bend in my backyard, and that's me, you know. I think I said one time earlier, and I think Mary edited this out, so maybe this time you'll see it, that the worst part about doing a project like this is the euphoria, the excitement, the purchase. Those are all wins. Then you kind of get into it and you kind of get a bit overwhelmed and you get drugged down and you realize you just need money and time and money, and you think there's no end. And that's where a lot of people get frustrated and give up. And I'm kind of the same way. I think early on when I first started to touch this, I said everything I do turns into a rat rod, you know, and that's kind of where I'm at with this is
let's just get it on the road, you know, let's just get it going down the highway. Little things like this drive a guy crazy, or you could just move on, and I'm choosing to move on. But anyways, speaking of moving on, in a few minutes we'll go ahead and clean the paint off of this. I don't know if you guys had noticed yesterday, whenever the last film is, and I tried to get it so it would embed. Apparently I can't buy a decent tool. I couldn't rent a decent tool that would stretch that pipe. All it did was it didn't do it. So I just been kind of butting these and welding them. I'd rather it went inside, but again, if you're an exhaust guy, just look the other way. If you're not an exhaust guy, then you probably don't understand unless you try this. So let's just fit this one up. I'll have to reach under there with my Sawzall and cut off the header pipe because I got it running wild. I don't know, Mary, you want to come down here? You can kind of see what I'm going for. This is what I'm going for. That's going to move up to where that line is, and it'll do pretty good. You know, it's going to be all right when you look at, you know, it's going to come up to where that line is. But it's going to be in there, and it's going to be out of the way. So we'll just go ahead and keep on chugging. You filming that?
Yeah, it's fun for me.
You don't want to grab that with your bare hands. It's hot and sharp. That's your tech tool of the day. Don't make a mistake. You will remember it. All right, let's see. That would be that way. This would be this way. Now what I got to do is go up under there and reassemble that and get my angle right. So on my junk pile of a tool bench, I've gotten this kind of together where I want it, and now I have to make a decision. And without it being on the truck, I could rotate left, right, up, down. So I've kind of got that index in. So what I'm going to do is put this in there with just one tack, right? I'll put one tack there, then I can kind of move it in a couple of directions. And then I can put it up underneath and make sure I like the fit before I permanently commit myself. Alright, so we don't have the tailpipe on. We got the mufflers on. It's late. I'm fried. I've been getting up at 3:30 in the morning for 6 weeks. Anyways, this gas can is empty. Let's just see what this thing sounds like. It needs fuel, but you see how much quieter it is? At least I can tell it's quieter. I'm gonna get some fuel. Give me a second. You can tell it was running out of fuel. I don't have a fuel pump. It's just coming through here gravity. It couldn't keep up. That's why it was missing and popping. Hopefully you got some of the sound. I wish I had shorter mufflers. I wish it was more obnoxious. It's not. Maybe someday I'll have to change that. Also notice inside on the gauge, even though there's no key turned on, that the gauge was showing that the alternator was charging. So there's a chance that might be working. So that's a win. Anyways, thanks for sticking with us through the exhaust part of this. I'm going to finish the tailpipes. We'll show you that at the end. I'm also planning, and hopefully this will be in the same video, I got a pressure washer. We're going to be pressure washing some of this ugly old brown paint off. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. If this isn't the end of the video, quick, go subscribe now. Hit the bell, do the thumbs up. And if it is the video, we've got a couple more parts of this coming through. We're going to do 2 or 3 more series on this. We're still going to try to drive it. We still got a few more weeks of summer. We're still going to try to have fun. I still want to cut the spring. we'll just finish one thing at a time. Okay, so I just finished the pressure washing. I'm not sure that I'm in love with it yet. With some clear coat, obviously it'll look shinier. I left the little 90 from the year 1990 when somebody painted it copper. I'm not sure what to do exactly with the front grille. I was thinking about painting it all white to clean it up, but then it loses some of it, but then it gets rid of the rust. I don't know. We'll see. Painting it would be to match the wheels. I have the paint over there. I'm ready to go. I was going to do bumpers and the roof because I wanted the roof to be white, and then I'll put the rack back on. I got that all cleaned up too. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do exactly with it yet. Guess you guys just have to wait and see. There's, as I said earlier about rat rods, there's no real right or wrong way. Just get them on the road, get them going. It's, you know, it's got a kind of good look to it, but just don't know about the roof. I'll think about it. I'll decide. Okay, so I made some decisions. Some of you astute audience members may have noticed that I had cut this, probably 2 months ago. It is the top of the valve cover out of the 6-cylinder engine that used to be in here that was seized up. It says Chevrolet. And I'd made reference earlier when I mounted the seats that I used some of the other side covers as big washers. On this side, I'm gonna put it in here. Mariana's got the hiccups, so if you hear hiccups, it's Mariana. Anyways, I was gonna put this in here and rivet it in. And I'm trying to get it to where you can see the Chevrolet. I might need to cut it, or I might maybe leave it concealed. Then I'm gonna have to screw that piece to the thing. I know it doesn't cover it all, but that's not the point. I'm getting artsy fartsy, so I might go ahead. You know, people can read that. Yeah, you can see that. I'll just try to shove it over. I don't really want to cut that off. I don't really want to damage it, if that makes sense. Let me see if I can rivet it in there. If you've never used a rivet tool before, you drill a hole, you insert the rivet tool in there. Oh, hole's not big enough. That's all right. Well, I might have to go find another drill. Oh, great, I barely hooked it.
Going great.
Yeah, I need to go find a different drill probably for the next one, but we'll mill it out with our hand mill.
Just like a hammer.
I'll insert that in there, and then I'm going to have to mill this one out. I wouldn't put much stock into that being successful. We'll get her though. We will get her. Also, I had recalled just a few minutes ago that I had the literature on this 64 Suburban. And if anybody's new to the channel or you're just watching, if you go back to the M38 video, I referenced that. That I got that, and we're going to go over that in a few minutes. Let me Let's see if this will take. It is not taking. Quit while you're ahead, Darian. All right, I'm gonna go get the right size drill. Back in a flash. Let's see if I'm strong enough to do that one-handed. All right, you're gonna have to put down your camera and I need help. Okay, Mary had to help me. I'm old, she's young, you know that. You guys know this score. I wish it was down a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let me get a good one over here where I can get some real metal. I should be able to do this one, Mary, without you.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
No washer needed?
I probably won't need it, but I'll put it on. You know what? It's going to last another 30 years, so.
30 years in a blackberry bush?
It might. Come on now. There you go. Play nice. Kind of hold that washer. They make a tool for this. It's air powered.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had one.
They're spendy. My high school had like 6 of them.
Yeah, you went to a pretty cool school.
Yeah, it was brand new school, so they had new equipment. And a cool,
Oh yeah, that did her.
and a cool aerospace program.
Now I just washed this today and look, I already got grease on it. So when we go to, all right. So now I gotta attach something. I'm thinking we might have to spot weld a little spot in there so I can put a screw in. There is nothing left of this inner panel. It is junk, junk, junk. Oh yeah. That's as good as if Chevrolet had done it. Let's jump up here real quick.
That's an old man jump.
Top speed. I'm gonna put on my old man glasses. So 2 videos back, I showed you the paper for the M38. So that's, you guys can go back in the video, look at that. Then I was supposed to get out the paper for the Willys rat rod. And this is papers from 1951. Yeah, May of 1951. I don't know what magazine it was in. These were articles. Anyways, the rat rod's a 53, but they were all similar. 48 and 49 had a flatter grill, and if you notice on my rat rod video, if you go back, it's kind of a pointier grill. So there was some change in there. You're welcome to look at those. This is what the pickup looked like when I originally first got it. It was 4-wheel drive like that, but then I chopped down the sides to make the bed a little bit shorter. I narrowed the fenders. I did some other things to it. So that's that. Now let's talk about this. The Chevrolet for 64. Fleet side pickup. These are your C10s that people are super into right now. You can see that the orange on the 10 that I was talking about painting right there. And then with the white top. So this Suburban you'll see back in there is all one solid color. And you can see on this Suburban that it was all one solid color. but I'm going to do the fancier paint on it. This is a custom. You see in the pictures, it has the side trim, has the chrome grille, chrome bumper. When I was a kid, I had a 63 custom with the big back window and that. And anyways, I ended up selling it one time because, well, you need money. Back then, it wasn't worth a lot. But on here, yeah, it's just the one side. On here, they tried to this was the sales pitch, right? So you're reading your magazine. I guess the internet wasn't around probably in the 60s. Radio, TV was probably still black and white. I don't know, has anybody ever watched a black and white TV? It's kind of a hoot. But so they're talking here about double wall construction, features a Chevy cabs, fleet side pickup, has 2 advantages. We put insulation and sound deadening material between the 2 layers of the steel, which gives you more comfort cab. Inner wall of the pickup acts as a buffer against load damage. I'm probably not going to go through all this because at this point you guys are going bleh, bleh, bleh. Anyways, I thought this was a neat ad. Over here it says, have you seen the 64 El Camino pickup? Does anybody know the first year for the El Camino? Now, I'm going to give you a heads up. Ford did it first in 57 and Chevy followed. And if you know that, write it in the comments. At the end of the video, if I remember, or maybe the next video on this, I'll tell you what I think. And El Camino came and went. You know, there's certain years that it was there and certain years it wasn't. But anyways, you guys will be, I think the first year of the El Camino is kind of one of the coolest ones. But I already had one of those vehicles before, but it wasn't an El Camino, but I had the same year. Anyways, they try to get you, this was their advertising of the day. And like I say, I paid a few bucks for that. I thought it was cool. And I think the next thing we're going to do is work on the gas tank. And then I think we're going to call this video done. And move on to getting it running for the next video, or hopefully to get it drive. We might get it to drive this video still. It's hard to say. So one of the kind of behind the scenes that I do things all the time, and I'm telling Mary, hey, film this. You know, anyways, this was a locking gas cap. I was talking about the fuel system. Let me step you over here real quick before we show you all that. I wanted to do gasolina because I had this old timey gas can at 6.5 gallons. I was going to put it in there, bungee it in, ratchet strap it, run a hose through the floor, connect it. But then Mary goes, do you even know if the tank is bad or not? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me go look. So there's a locking cap. And I'm showing you guys this in case you ever come across this. You don't need to get too panicky. These things are cheap. And what I've done is I just pried that off with a screwdriver, just kept working it until that came off. And now there's this big rubber seal. Once you pull the rubber off, sometimes they fall in. You got to hold on to that part. And see, now it's just down to the metal. It's still not coming out, but you see we're getting a lot closer. Eventually, now I can use my channy locks.
What?
My channy locks. What you don't want to do is screw up the tank side. And, you know, there's a risk. You know.
We should also mention that the gas tank gasolina inside of the vehicle isn't our permanent solution.
So, this was pot metal. It had been on there since 1997. Just a little tweak. And out she came. And you see it didn't screw that up. This is the original tank. It's kind of bashed up in the back. Doesn't look too bad either.
Yeah, it looks pretty clean in there.
What do you see in there?
Yeah, pretty
You got another light. It might be full of rust.
Yeah, it just looks like debris falling off of your cap.
Well, it's very worse is I could take the tank off, pressure wash it, pull the top out, pressure wash it, and see what's going on. Let's see if this. It's getting dark on us. We're sorry. I don't know. Can you see any better than me?
No, it's seeing about the same as when I had the camera with the light in there. It's just debris from.
What's it smell like?
I don't know. I didn't get my smell in there.
It doesn't smell that bad. I mean, yes, it's old gas, but I've smelled worse. Maybe we'll try putting some in it and run some filters on it. I sure don't want to screw up that old carburetor. Yeah, okay. Yeah, anyways, just thought we'd show you that before we go in the house for the night. We're super happy with the way the Suburban's coming out. You know, it's I've decided I'm going to go ahead and paint the roof for sure, and I'll worry about the front grille. I'm not sure on what I want to. I don't know how far I want to. Anyways, we're super excited about it. The video's coming up. Please look for them every week, every Wednesday, 6 a.m. We post them. We're trying to be real consistent about that so people can pay attention. We're going to go ahead and put some carpet in this Suburban. That's part of our plan. This rubber mat is garbage. As I mentioned earlier, they made these with plywood. That's plywood in there. And so then we're going to go ahead and patch the holes in the front, seam seal. I'm going to use some spray on undercoating or something, try to stop the rust. And then I'm going to go and get some indoor outdoor carpet, probably just your Home Depot stuff, and put it in there gray. That's what I'm thinking of going with, match the seats. And once I get that in there, then the dogs can use it. I can use it for whatever. And I don't have stuff like this coming up. It's going to clean the whole area up. I'll probably repaint some of this if I can find a paint that's similar to that Chevy brown, industrial gray, beige.
Yeah. And then we're staining that.
Yeah, we're going to stain that wood. I decided to leave that. So the story goes with this rig, when we got it, it was heaped with junk. There was like 12 tires in it, a bunch of junk. There's some bottles. Maybe Mary will show you those on one of her videos. And
100 cottage cheese containers at least. That guy was in love with cottage cheese.
Yeah. Don't tell him about the used condoms, but anyways.
What?
This thing became a collection of crap where it was sitting on some property. And if you go back to the first video, we have some pictures. Maybe we'll try to insert some of those again. And
I'm just showing him your happy little leg.
Anyways, the story goes, my son John and I saw this. We talked to the guy. Yeah, it was abandoned. He had had it on his property since 1997. He used to rent the house and property. That guy's long gone. He passed away. It got abandoned in this guy's field, and then it just sat forgotten. We went and dug it out, which is the pictures of it in the blackberries, and you can see in the background my M38. I put that on my car trailer. I went over there, and where it was located, it was really wet ground, and it was all frozen. It was a beautiful Saturday morning, but the ground was frozen. And so we had to really struggle to get it out of the frozen ground. And the reason we went when it was frozen is because we had to cross this big section of field, and the water was probably about yay deep, but it was frozen through. So we were able to drive the Jeep across, tow the Suburban across, get it out of the field. And otherwise we would have had to wait till late summer to get it out. So anyways, we were lucky enough to get it out of there. It was quite an adventure. And this is when John, who comes and goes in these videos, he says, man, you should make a YouTube video because this is some really neat stuff. So as I'd said earlier, this is just my life. I'm just doing this stuff, but I'm going to record it. So if it's not as polished as some of the others, or maybe it's a little bit off, or the humor isn't for you or whatever, just get patience. But comment. You know, I've gotten some really good comments from people that are really knowledgeable, but I need to know what you guys are interested in. So if I'm wasting time, let me know. If you guys just want to see videos of it driving, great. You want to see dog videos? Well, I guess we could show you that. But I'd really focus on these deals. I'm not much for abusing the vehicles, so if you're here to see, you know, an engine blow up or a tire burn off, it's probably not going to happen. I'm paying for this stuff by myself. If I get big time, yeah, you know what, let's find something to destroy. I'm okay with that, but these other vehicles I have sentimental value for, so I probably won't be ruining any of those. We do have some interesting things coming up in a couple of weeks. Our family's going on a camping trip at the end of the year, September, mid-September. Anyways, I have a daughter with a motorhome, and I have a motorhome, and we're going to drag race those motorhomes, and it should be a cool video because, I mean, we're going to go like, you know, a quarter mile. I don't think they'll go. But anyways, we might get up to like 40 at the end of a quarter mile.
Same era, too.
Oh, yeah.
Then one's not new, one's not old. They're about the same few years.
They're both the same, late 80s. Mine's a Ford, hers is a Chevy. 460, 454. Let's see what happens. Yeah, she wears glasses. I need to wear glasses. Hey, what the hell? You never can tell what'll happen. And they'll be fully loaded for camping, like a real life scenario. It should be a hoot.
Like long trailer of rocks.
Yeah, it should be a hoot, you know. Anyways, and then we've got another video coming out. And I filmed most of it. We're going to have a slow race with my four-wheel drives, low gear, and then we're also going to have, is it faster than a motorhome? Which we've been setting some times when we test drive the vehicles, and we're going to put a collage together to see which one of my vehicles is the fastest and which one is my slowest. there's some vehicles you guys haven't seen even in the videos yet, and so we're gonna get through what we're getting through. We have enough junk around here to last probably 2 years, so it should be a good time. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, follow, click the like button, share it with your friends. There is a Facebook page that Mariana has set up, so you can always share it there if you need to. Anyways, thanks for watching.